Let's make coffee off-grid. It's easy, doesn't take electricity, and one of my ways of making off-grid coffee doesn't even use propane. So let's get started. First things first, the little blue pot here is a coffee pot, as you can tell. I only use it for heating water. The coffee holder in there is way too small for the amount of coffee that we drink. But you can perk your coffee in that if you choose, on your camp stove or stove top or even an open fire. And you could also use it by just pouring coffee grounds in the bottom of the coffee pot and adding water and having camp style coffee, cowboy coffee, I think they call it. And that's good. But I have an easier way, and it is delicious. So if you haven't tried this, you might want to. First, we have this. Now, this is the most important part, and this is what it's going to hold that filter in. It's a container. Comes in a couple of different sizes, and we have the large one. So, as you can tell, what I do here is I fold the bottom and then the long piece over, and that helps to prevent the seam from coming undone and creating a real big coffee mess. Keeps the grounds from going into your coffee. So I do that, open it up, fold it, put it in. And because right now I'm going to make a cup of coffee, I'm going to take a spoonful here, put it in the filter, and make myself a cup of coffee. And you just let it drain through. Try not to spill, like I always manage to do. But, as you can see, the water is drained through the coffee. And I've got about a half a cup there. Okay. So, I can add a little bit more coffee. And hopefully I don't overflow that. And it'll drain through, and I'll have a nice hot cup of coffee. Better yet, what I love to do is make a full pot of coffee. If you notice, how many of you remember these? These are so cool. Rudy, a friend of ours, came to visit, and when him and Rob went to a swap meet, they found this and brought it home for me, and I love it. It keeps my coffee hot. It insulates, and, you know, it's just a great big thermos. As you can tell, I have some coffee in it already. And then I thought, oh, I need to make a video. So this is what I'm doing to show you how I make my coffee. Oh, good, I didn't spill it this time. Okay. So, as you can see, I've got a cup of fresh brewed hot coffee right there. Now, let's make a pot of coffee. Same thing, just use more coffee. So, I've got my coffee. A little bit more. I've also been known to add herbs to my coffee as well. After I make it, I will add it into my coffee when I flavor my coffee. So I just add my water to the air pot here. Now, I remember getting my first air pot years and years ago. I think it was in the 80s. And I literally wore it out and haven't found too many of them over the years. So I was thrilled when the guys came home with my air pot. It's wonderful. Anyway, as you can tell, I'm just pouring the hot water in, letting it drain, and it's coffee. Great way to make coffee on a cloudy day in the evenings. Perfect. Don't have to do without coffee. It looks like our coffee is about finished. Right here. Yep, it is. So I'm going to take this out and set it on top of the coffee cup for right now to let it finish dripping. And then I'm going to insert this. Close the lid. And coffee is ready. Now, I'll show you. Set your coffee down here. Press this part up here. Press that down. And coffee, steaming hot, is served. Cold brewed coffee. You ready to make some? Easy, easy, easy coffee to make, and it is delicious. What I like is there's no heat involved. It's not like if you're making sun tea and you put it outside in the sun. If you heat it, your coffee can get bitter, and it's also what gives you the jitters. But with cold brewed coffee, you get all the caffeine and none of the shakes from the caffeine. So, no jitters with cold brewed coffee. Also, you can refrigerate it for up to a couple of weeks even, and leave it on your counter for a couple of days if you want while it's brewing. But either way, you can make it and put it in the fridge and let it sit for 2-3 days, or you can leave it on your counter for a couple of days and then put it in your fridge. I really, really like cold brewed coffee, especially in the summertime, and it is 100% off-grid. No propane, no solar, none of that is necessary to make cold brewed coffee. Over the years, I've made a bunch of these coffee bags. It's really great. Yes, you can put your coffee in the bottom of the jar, fill it with water, and then strain it. I don't care for that kind of hassle. So what I've done is I have made what used to be a white coffee bag. And this bag, I load up with my coffee, stuff it in the jar, and add water. And it'll float around and do its own little thing. But it also keeps the mess down. This is actually for canning. And what I like about it is it just fits right into my little sack here for holding the coffee. Okay. And then what I do is I just fill this bag up, however much coffee is necessary. And as I'd mentioned earlier, if I spill, I'm notorious for spilling. So for me, using having a cloth below and a funnel, things of that sort of helps. Here we go. I have the coffee in our not so white muslin bag. And now what you do is you just give it a twist, like so. And then if I can, again, figure out how to wrap this, I'm going to be a happy camper. So, there. Now it's wrapped. And it's knotted. Then I just stick it right in here. And all you got to do now is just pour water in. And this is just cold water. I put it in here for showing all of you guys, but normally I just take it out of the faucet. Heck, maybe I can even demonstrate that. Here, let me switch hands, see? And I'm just taking my handy dandy faucet hosey thing and filling up the jar with water. Filled up the jar. This is the coffee that's already coming through the cold water. It's only been a couple of minutes, but it's just coffee steeping in the water. And I tend to be a dripper, so that's another reason why I have my... Whoops! Okay, so
okay, take 22,999. Here we go.
I want to say thank you for joining us today. And if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, share. Oh, and please make comments. What's your favorite way to make coffee? Personally, I like it with fresh ground coffee beans.